Stop wasting your life. 10. Buddhist secrets you need to know before it's too late. What stupid thing are you doing that you could stop? That single question, when asked with honesty and courage, has the power to change your life. The Buddha once said, "Pain is certain, suffering is optional." Yet how often do we choose suffering without even realizing it? We get trapped in distractions, procrastination, and endless excuses. We know change is necessary, but we don't act. We're aware of the potential within us, yet we wait. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and every moment wasted is a step further from the life we are meant to live. So ask yourself, what's holding you back? What toxic habits, limiting beliefs, or negative thoughts are keeping you small? And more importantly, how much longer will you let them control you? The truth is, no one is coming to save you. If you don't start fixing yourself now, you may never get another chance. But there is a way out. There are 10 powerful Buddhist principles that can help you break free. Today, not tomorrow. So if you take away just one thing from this video, let it be this: your future depends on what you do right now. Principle 1. The discipline of freedom. Imagine an archer. He's renowned for his precision and skill, and his secret? It's not in his arrows, but in his discipline. Every day, with unwavering focus, he practices. He knows that if the bow is held too loosely, the arrow will fail to launch. If it's pulled too recklessly, it will miss its mark. This is the paradox of freedom. True liberation doesn't come from abandoning all restraint. It comes from mastering the right kind of control. Many people think freedom means doing whatever they want. But have you noticed that when you give in to every whim, you often feel lost instead of fulfilled? The mind, left undisciplined, is like an unstrung bow, weak and chaotic. It doesn't know where to go. The Buddha taught us the middle way, the balance between indulgence and self-denial. Discipline in this sense is not a cage. It's the very thing that sharpens your aim. Ask yourself, what habit can you refine today? Will you commit to that goal you've been putting off? Discipline isn't the enemy, it's your ally. When you embrace it, you unlock a freedom that few ever experience. You begin to design your life with intention, and with that intention, you find direction. Will you choose discomfort today, or will you let regrets and excuses pile up? Principle 2. Face your inner demons before they grow. In a distant mountain village, a traveler stumbled upon a cave said to be the home of a terrifying monster. Most people, fearful of what they might encounter, ran away. But one monk, wise and unshaken, stepped forward. Lantern in hand, he ventured into the darkness. As he went deeper into the cave, the growls grew louder. But when he shone his light on the so-called monster, he saw it for what it really was. Only a shadow of his own fears. This is how most of us live, running from our inner demons. We avoid facing our unresolved emotions, the fears we suppress, the guilt we ignore. But what happens when we choose not to confront them? They don't disappear, they grow. How often have you run from a difficult conversation, only to let it poison your relationships later? How many times have you numbed your unhappiness with distractions, hoping it would go away? The longer you run from your fears, the heavier they become. The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." No amount of external success or temporary pleasures will silence what's unresolved inside. The only way to escape suffering is to walk through it. Meditation, a practice that the Buddha himself embraced, helps you face your inner fears and bring light to the shadows in your mind. It forces you to sit in silence and confront the raw, unfiltered truth of your emotions. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's necessary. Ask yourself, what uncomfortable truth are you avoiding? The moment you face it, it loses its power over you. Principle 3. Speak your truth or become a puppet. Once there was a beautifully crafted puppet controlled by invisible strings. It moved when commanded, spoke only words that weren't its own, and followed the wishes of others. But deep inside, the puppet longed for freedom. How many of us live like that puppet? We suppress our truth to please others. We wear masks to fit in, to avoid conflict, to gain approval. But every time we do this, we lose a piece of who we are. Buddhism teaches us the principle of right speech, to speak truthfully and mindfully, not just out of habit or fear. But how often do we find ourselves curating our lives to look perfect for the approval of others? We've all been there, creating personas on social media, only showing what's acceptable or worthy of praise. But here's the truth. Approval is not freedom. If you have to be someone you're not to be loved, then that love is for the illusion you've created. And the longer you wear that mask, the harder it is to remember who you truly are. The moment you start speaking your truth, unapologetically and courageously, the strings begin to snap. Yes, some people may walk away. Yes, some will disapprove. But what's the alternative? Living a life of lies, weighed down by words left unspoken? Ask yourself today, what false role must you abandon to finally become who you were meant to be? Principle 4. Embrace struggle. It's the fire that forages you. Imagine a blacksmith who is known for crafting the strongest swords. His secret is not the metal he uses, but the fire. He understands that raw iron, left untouched, remains weak. It is only through the heat of the flames and being hammered into shape that it transforms into something unbreakable. Life is the same. Struggles, pain, and setbacks are not punishments. They are the fire that forges you into something stronger. The Buddha himself faced immense hardship. Before attaining enlightenment, he battled hunger, temptation, and the darkness of his own mind. But instead of running from suffering, he embraced it. Through it, he emerged stronger. Ask yourself today, what challenge can you embrace and transform into strength? Stop running from hardship. Embrace it, for it's the very thing that will shape you into the person you are meant to become. Principle 5. Your mind is a weapon. Sharpen it or be defeated. There was once a warrior who carried a mighty sword, but he never sharpened it. He assumed that simply having a weapon would make him powerful. When the battle came, his sword was dull, useless. His carelessness became his downfall. This is the reality of an untrained mind. In today's world, distractions are endless. Social media, notifications, noise. Your mind is constantly being pulled in 1,000 different directions. But without focus, you are already losing the battle. Buddhism teaches the art of concentration. The sharper your mind, the more control you have over your actions, emotions, and destiny. A dull mind can easily be swayed, just as a dull sword can't cut through armor. Ask yourself, how often do you lose focus? How many hours are wasted on distractions? Meditation is the sharpening stone for your mind. It takes just a few minutes each day to improve your concentration and gain clarity. A trained mind is a powerful weapon. Without it, you are merely drifting through life, susceptible to distractions and fears. Take control of your focus and you take control of your fate. Principle 6. Attachments are the chains that keep you stuck. There was once a mighty eagle, born in captivity. It had never known the open sky, and so it flapped its wings, feeling the instinct to soar. But the cage held firm, and over time, the eagle stopped trying to escape, not knowing the freedom that lay beyond the bars. This is how most of us live, caged not by iron but by attachments. We cling to relationships that drain us, identities that no longer serve us, and possessions that we mistake for happiness. We remain stuck, unaware of the freedom that awaits us if only we would let go. Buddhism teaches us about impermanence, the truth that everything changes. Yet, we resist it. We hold on to the past, fearing the unknown. We grasp at comfort even when it suffocates us. We become prisoners of familiarity, mistaking it for happiness. But attachment is the chain. The things we refuse to release are the very things that control us. Have you ever wondered why losing something hurts so much? It's because your identity becomes entangled in it. A title, a relationship, a possession. You believe you are these things. But the truth is, you were never those things to begin with. The Buddha said, "You only lose what you cling to." Pain doesn't come from change. It comes from resisting change. The tighter you hold on to something, the more suffering it brings when it inevitably shifts. Imagine holding a rope that's burning your hands. The longer you grip it, the deeper the pain. But the moment you release it, relief floods in. Life works the same way. Letting go isn't losing. It's gaining space for something new. Ask yourself today, what outdated belief, toxic relationship, or lingering regret is keeping you caged? And if you let go of just one thing today, what would set you free? Principle 7. The illusion of one day is the enemy of growth. A traveler once set out toward the horizon, believing that when he reached it, he would find happiness, success, and fulfillment. But no matter how far he walked, the horizon remained out of reach. He kept saying, "One day I'll get there." But years passed and one day never came. This is how most people live. They tell themselves, "One day I'll pursue my dreams. One day I'll fix my life. One day I'll be disciplined." But one day is an illusion. It's the horizon that keeps moving further away the longer we wait. Buddhism teaches the importance of living in the present moment. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. The only time that truly exists is now. Yet, how often do we postpone our growth, waiting for the perfect conditions, the right moment, or the ideal time to start? The Buddha reached enlightenment not because he waited for the right time, but because he committed to the journey. Step by step, despite imperfection, he moved forward. Waiting is a slow poison, and the more we wait, the more we waste. Ask yourself today, what have you been delaying? What excuse has kept you stuck? Is it fear, comfort, doubt? Whatever it is, recognize that it's simply resistance. Nothing changes until you take that first step. So, what is one thing you've been delaying, and how will you begin today? Principle 8. Seek meaning, not pleasure. A traveler lost in the desert sees an oasis in the distance. Desperate for relief, he runs toward it only to find that it was a mirage, never real, never fulfilling. Again and again, he chases after illusions, growing thirstier with every step. This is the cycle of seeking pleasure. It promises fulfillment, but only leaves you emptier than before. You drink, but your thirst deepens. You consume, but your hunger never fades. Buddhism teaches that craving, or tanha, is the root of suffering. We chase wealth, validation, status, and distractions, all in the hopes of feeling complete. But have you ever noticed that the more you indulge in momentary pleasure, the emptier you feel? You scroll endlessly on social media, seeking entertainment, but find yourself drained. You chase relationships for validation, but feel lonelier than ever. You reach one goal, only to feel the need to chase another. Pleasure is not the enemy, but it is a poor substitute for meaning. Meaning nourishes the soul. It comes from growth, from overcoming struggle, from contributing something greater than yourself. The Buddha did not seek pleasure, he sought understanding, and in doing so, he discovered true peace. A life without meaning is like wandering in the desert. You keep moving, searching, but never arrive. Look around. How many people are running on autopilot, numbing themselves with distractions? They chase money, but have no time for joy. They seek comfort, but avoid the hard truths that would set them free. They follow trends, but lose themselves in the process. Ask yourself today, are you chasing meaning, or are you chasing distraction? What will matter in the end, the temporary highs or the lasting impact you left on the world? Principle 9. Serve something greater than yourself. A single flame can light 1,000 candles without losing its glow. In the same way, your purpose isn't just about you, it's about the impact you have on others. Many people believe fulfillment comes from achieving personal success, but even the highest peaks feel empty when climbed alone. The Buddha did not seek enlightenment for himself alone. He shared his wisdom so that others could awaken too. Growth is not about self-indulgence, it's about service. People chase wealth, power, and recognition, thinking these things will bring meaning. But the happiest people are not the ones who take the most, they're the ones who give the most. A great teacher doesn't just accumulate knowledge, he passes it on. A leader doesn't just rise, he lifts others with him. Ask yourself, how can you make someone's life better today? Can you be a mentor, a guide, or simply a source of kindness? The light you share will never be lost. It will grow, rippling outward, impacting lives in ways you may never see. Principle 10. Death is your greatest teacher. Live accordingly. The sand in the hourglass falls grain by grain. Each moment slips away, never to return. Life is fleeting, but we live as if we have all the time in the world. We delay our dreams, put off changes we need to make, and allow time to slip through our fingers. What if instead we woke up every day with the awareness that this moment, this breath, could be our last? How would we live if we truly understood the preciousness of life's impermanence? Buddhism teaches that death is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It's death that gives life its meaning. The awareness of impermanence sharpens our focus, guides our actions, and ignites our passions. The Buddha said, "Remember that you will die," not as a dark thought, but as a powerful motivator to live fully. So ask yourself today, if you were to die tomorrow, would you be proud of how you lived today? Would you feel that you gave your best, loved deeply, and pursued what truly mattered? Bonus principle: the path is the goal. The road stretches out before you. It winds, uncertain, with each step feeling like the destination is always out of reach. But here's the truth about life. There is no final place to arrive at. There is no moment of perfect fulfillment. Ultimate growth is not about achieving a destination. It's about the journey itself. The path is the goal. The Buddha taught us that enlightenment is not a place to reach, but a way of living. Every small action, every decision, every moment of discipline and awareness, it's all part of the goal. Every step you take, no matter how uncertain, is part of the unfolding of who you are meant to become. So stop waiting for the right time to start living. Start today. The journey is not a race, it's a way of being. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the person you are meant to be. You already have everything you need to become who you were meant to be. The only question is, will you take the first step today? What insight from these teachings resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe to Quiet Wisdom for more Buddhist insights on living a peaceful and powerful life.